video is also sponsored by Distrokid, so huge thank you to them, and more on that later in the video. I just realized that melody that I made, the top line at least, is definitely another song, but it's all good. I'm still trying to figure out what song it is. Maybe by the time this video is up I'll know, but right now I don't know, and it's annoying me because I want to figure it out because it's a good song, I think. These are probably really interesting videos to watch because I kind of have to get creative with what I do if I'm vlogging and stuff just in my house for the day. I don't really go anywhere, especially like today where I'm just cooking up, but I don't really feel like making loops, so I think I'm gonna start reviving my type beat channel again because I need to do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna make a beat, I think, really quickly for that with just a loop that I have. So really quickly, I just want to touch on something I did here. It's an interesting technique. Basically what I did, I just muted the melodies right here, took out the hi-hat and just exported the drum pattern and the kick as well. I exported the drum pattern out so it's just like an 8-bar loop, and it looks like this now. I'm just gonna take the effects off of it quick. It sounded like this. So I pitched it up an octave, turned it down a little bit, put this Filter Freak preset on it, the low resonators 1, and then EQ'd out a bunch of the low end and then a bunch of high end as well. And after that, I made a volume automation clip right here. If you don't know how to do that, you just press this. I don't know if you can see the pop-up menu, probably not, but there's a thing that says automate right here, and you can just press volume, and then it'll just bring up a little envelope that's the size of your clip. So that's a super helpful tip if you guys didn't know that. I use it all the time now, especially when I'm doing like hyperpop stuff and whatnot. So I just automated it from 0 up to 100 here, and this is what it sounds like. I have this riser coming in as well. Unique for sure. I don't really hear many build-ups like this, and I'm trying to figure out new things to do with my build-ups. So I really like this, and this is what it sounds like with the melody. Now I'm gonna get this melody ready to go on YouTube. I gotta make like a thumbnail for it and just upload it to BeatStars. So I'm gonna do that really quick. I just got back from playing basketball with Miles. It's actually a really nice day outside, so I had to get out and experience it a little bit. But now I'm back and I'm gonna work on some stars that Ole sent me. Shout out to him, super cool guitar loop maker. There's 3 of them. I think I'm gonna do all 3 just in one sitting. And yeah, I also had to make something for my ceramics class that I was putting off, so I just did that. Here it is, little pyramid. Yes, spent some time doing that as well. I also finished up the starters too, so overall pretty solid day thus far. Alright, so it's the next day. Today's plan is going to be pretty simple. I just need to start editing this video, and then I also need to do some stuff on the electric guitar. Just really simple, sad, like slow sort of progressions. I want to do that today, and then I gotta go to the school quick to drop off my ceramics project from yesterday, and then I'm pretty sure I have another Zoom class, but you know, school's kind of heating up. I'm a senior right now, and I got like a month and a little bit under a half till I graduate, so it's prime time right now. So I got a little sidetracked and I ended up making this loop. It's an interesting one. It's a Trippie Redd, like Miss the Rage type loop, and I just made it really quick and then I made a beat out of it, so I'm just gonna explain some things because it's an interesting loop for sure. It's just really simple power chords, F sharp power chord here, and then I have this C sharp up here. Okay, so this is a D power chord with an F sharp up here, and then we have this chord, which is just an A major chord, and then that loops the entire time, and we have another one here just with a slightly different voicing. I took the middle note and I put it up an octave. And I'm using this Electra X sound for the actual chords, but I rendered it out because I have the Electra X trial, and I made little cuts here right before the endings. Alright, so then I have this sound too layered with it, and I have this lead. It's called the Steady Growler, and then I just messed around with an EQ a little bit just to make it not as prominent. And then after that, the loop just has a bass right here. These 2 leads that are just 2 different sounds, but I exported them all into one sound right here. So this is what the one sound sounds like. I wanted to add a grace note right at the beginning because that's what they do in a lot of these loops. It's very Miss the Rage inspired, and then I just have this sort of melody right here, which goes again right there at the end, and then I just duplicated this over and then just moved it down a little bit, still keeping my grace note intact, and then I just use chromatics there, and that's basically that. I just have this effect chain on it, a little bit of distortion from the Tube Screamer, just make it stand out a little bit more, and yeah, that's the loop. And now with everything put together, this is what it sounds like. if you guys aren't aware, I make a lot of music with D'Angelo. He's a really good friend of mine, and right now we're working on another EP, so super cool, super exciting stuff. But there's going to be a lot of people collaborating on all of the songs in the album, and with a lot of people working on an album or an EP, whatever it is, there's going to be a lot of money that needs to get thrown in a lot of different places, people collaborating on the different tracks and whatnot. It can get super disorganized and just hard to handle without the right tools. And this is where today's sponsor of the video, Distrokid, really comes into play, and it's going to help us out a lot with that process, and you guys as well. So Teams by Distrokid is just a really helpful way for you guys to be able to handle situations like these where you have a lot of people and a lot of splits that need to be decided on, and you're able to handle them in one cohesive space all together so everything stays organized. With Distrokid Teams, you can add unlimited collaborators to each and every track that you guys upload. You can change your splits at any time. Say you screwed something up or you forgot to add someone, you can always go back in and revise those as well. Distrokid respects people's privacy, so they keep all the splits that everyone is getting private, so only you can see what percentage you're getting. And if you don't already have a Distrokid account, it is only $10. I don't know why I held up a 2, but it's $10. So another big thing with releases of EPs and albums is that they take a lot of planning, and oftentimes you'll see them get delayed because of this. It's a super difficult thing to get completely right. Rolling out stuff successfully is just it's a process for sure. Say someone in your team is slow to sign up, Distrokid is just going to keep their money aside for the person once they do make their account, so you don't have to worry about stuff getting delayed as people are creating their accounts. Say someone doesn't join for whatever reason, they didn't want their money, you can reallocate the money to you, yourself, someone else in the team. And as always, Distrokid doesn't take any cut of your earnings. You earn 100% of what you make off the songs. And yeah, that's a lot of information on the Teams feature in Distrokid. And if you're looking to sign up, feel free to use my referral code. It's going to be linked down in the description. It's distrokid.com/VIP/Gavin. Again, huge thanks to Distrokid for sponsoring this video, and let's continue. I scratched the electric idea for today. Instead, I'm just going to lay in my bed, play this thing, and hopefully I can come up with something relatively playable. Alright, so that didn't really go too well. I actually just drove to a basketball court. I'm going to play basketball for a little bit. Just creatively, I'm just not there right now, so I'm not in focus either. But do some thinking on the courts, and then hopefully we can come up with something tonight. Through some methods, I was able to come up with something to play. It's been an interesting night, but here it is, and I'm going to play it right now. Yeah, I'm gonna record that and make a loop out of it. It's the next day now. I made some stuff yesterday, surprisingly. It was at like 11 o'clock, and I got some sort of just drive to make guitar stuff. So I actually made 3 starters that I sent out yesterday night as well. So I'm just gonna talk about each one of those individually, and I also made this other loop too. I'm gonna talk about that, but I just finished writing this essay. Right now is like prime school for me as well, so like doing music as much as I do, or as much as I want to, and then doing school and stuff too. It's definitely a challenge. I just spent a lot of time writing an essay, and I just submitted it too. The day it was due, of course. It was all in one sitting, one writing session, but you guys probably don't want to hear about essays, so I'm gonna break these down instead. I've never actually broken down loops like this. I don't actually have the FLPs open for any of them. I'm just gonna talk about things that I did. So this first one is in 172. This is a guitar starter, that's what it sounds like. If you don't know what a starter is, basically it's just an unfinished melody that you send to other producers, other people to work on and finish up. So it's unfinished, as you can hear. It's just simple bar chords, triad bar chords, and then I have this top melody come in for the second half here. It's just simple chords, like interval stuff, and then I'm hitting an open string the whole time, so it's a G string that's being hit the whole time that's open, which means there's not like a finger actually pressing on it. This is what the chords sound like. I hang out at this third chord for this part, and then go back to those first 2 chords, and then I have this one instead. And then I wanted to do some sort of a top melody, but I didn't want it to be like all that the loop needed, so I just have it come in at the ends here. I think this one's my favorite out of all of them, if I remember correctly. So this is a major 7 chord right here. And I just take like one finger off the strings, and it lowers the bass note by like 2 notes or so. But like the other 2 notes are the same, like they stay planted on the guitar. So I have this layered with a version that's up an octave too, just to add a little bit more high end. And then I have the top melody here as well. This is another sort of Mr. Rage type loop, I believe. Oh yeah. So for this one, I just switched back and forth between just normal triads and then power chords. This is a major 7 chord right here. It's the power chord. So yeah, we have that, and we have this whole thing reversed with like a little bit of gross beat on it. Like the same exact sound selection from the last loop, so I don't really need to spend too much time talking about it. Same sound here, again, just layered. Or same melody, just layered. Little counter melody, I guess you could call it. And then this growler right here. Growler mood bass. And those are all the ones that I made last night. So that is everything that I did in like 2 days. It was an interesting couple of days. Definitely some ups and downs in there. Hopefully you guys got a better look at what my creative process might look like, just in terms of like what I do throughout the day. And then it's definitely not always an easy process. Like yesterday, it definitely had to clear my brain out a little bit. If you guys did like this video, feel free to subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like, all of that stuff. Follow me on Instagram at @GavinHadley_, and yeah, we will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.